Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing today? Welcome to the United States Black Chambers, the USBC Directory Live online show. So we're excited. We have another great show for you today. Listen, start sharing the broadcast. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. And this has been pretty exciting. We started this online show on August 28th. The first company that we actually started to interview was the Industrial Bank. And so that was a great conference call there, great online show, I should say, with Industrial Bank. And so that was really exciting. So I'm going to ask everyone to start sharing this broadcast, start sharing it. And if you're a business owner, place down in the comments the name of your business, who you are, what you're doing. And what I want to say is the reason why we do this show, the reason why we're doing this every week, there are a lot of shows, a lot of online shows. There are a lot of things taking place, a lot of things about entertainment, a lot of things about sports and basketball and music. But we want to talk about Black business, and we want to talk about how to grow your business, how to expand your business. And we're doing this show because we're bringing great Black-owned businesses to you that many people have never heard of. Great Black-owned businesses that go up under the radar, businesses that you might not see on major news shows, great Black-owned businesses that you might not even see on your local radio or hear on your local radio. So we're bringing them to you so that our audience can become aware of who's out there, what's out there, and also so that we can support our businesses. And we have to circulate the dollar. And so I want to ask you, when was the last time you supported a Black-owned business, and what was the name of that business, and how long ago did you support them, and how often do you support a Black-owned business? The thing I say all the time is we are the solution. We have to be the solution to the problems that take place in our community. Nobody else is the solution but us. So we have the answer. So we have to take our dollars and pour them back into our Black-owned businesses to make sure that our businesses grow, to make sure that our business expands. So welcome to the United States Black Chambers. Please share the broadcast. We have a great topic today, and it was so popular, we brought back another company. We're talking about, again, cannabis and hemp and all of those products. And, it's such a booming industry, and it's such a flaming industry as well. We just really want to make sure that our audience understands, again, more and more where the opportunities are, how to get involved, what do we do, what do we have to do to really get involved into this industry. And there's so many opportunities there, so many opportunities for our members, and so many opportunities for everyday African Americans to get involved. But we need to know what they are, who they are, how to get involved. And even after our last show, so the last show that we had on this topic, I got some emails and I got some text messages from individuals asking questions about cannabis and hemp and how to get involved. That they're thinking about getting involved and what they need to do. But as I mentioned on the last show, everyone typically, when they think about cannabis and hemp, they always think about, I have to have this money and go out and buy some land so that I can grow, I can grow, everything on the land. But it's not just about that. It's also, again, about cannabis, and it's about hemp. So we want to make everyone aware about that also. So please start sharing the broadcast, share the broadcast, let everyone know that we are live. And let everyone know that we are live. And whatever you just did, John, if you can go back to what you did before, I hear a little feedback there. If you can go back to whatever you did before. All right, perfect. There we go. So excellent. So listen, this is great. This is really, really great. Excited to have everybody on. And last week was a great show. If you did not see the show from last week, I am going to encourage you to go back and watch that show from last week. That was with Sam Bell of Net Market Resources. And again, he really helps companies to market their business throughout Facebook, throughout Google, and online. And there's so many startups, so many companies that are trying to learn how to grow their business, trying to learn how to get more sales. The name of the game is sales. If you want to grow your company, you got to make some more money. And that's just the key. If we want to grow our company, we have to make more money. We have to have more sales. So the key to that, for us to do it, how do we have more sales? We have to figure out how to sell. We have to get our product and our service in front of people that want to buy it. And so I was just watching Mr. Fertitta, who's the owner of the Houston basketball team. And he was talking today. He said, it doesn't matter how successful you are, you always have to sell. You have to sell, even when you go into boardroom meetings, even if you're going to a bank and you need a loan, you have to be able to sell. And so all of that is important. So definitely want to get going here. Excited about the show on today and excited about what we're doing. So again, go ahead and start sharing the broadcast. We're going to start sharing it on our end. And so really excited. So I'm going to give a quick note to one of our sponsors for today. And then I'll be talking about him again later on in the phone call. So one of our sponsors for this show is a gentleman that was on last week, Sam Bell of Net Market Resources. Again, Sam Bell of Net Market Resources. And I'll be coming back at the end of the show talking more about him. But thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors who really just support this and support our show. So again, Sam Bell, his website address is www.netmarketresources.com. Again, www.netmarketresources.com. If you are looking to grow your business, and I talk to a lot of business owners out there many times, and they discuss how they're having issues with growing their company, and they're having issues with marketing and marketing online, I would highly suggest that you utilize Sam and his company, Net Market Resources. Reach out to them, and they will help you to grow your sales, particularly now that the holidays are coming up. Holidays are coming up, and we definitely want to make sure that everyone is taking advantage of that. So, which is excellent. So, we're not going to take up much more time here. I want to bring on our guest. I'm going to bring him on so that he can begin discussing and talking about his company and everything that he's doing in the cannabis and the hemp industry. So, again, if you know someone that wants to get into this industry, tell them that we are on and that we are live with the United States Black Chambers, the USBC Directory online show. All right. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring on the founder of HCN. His name is Mr. John Rustin. Mr. John Rustin, all the way out there in Las Vegas. So you all are 3 hours behind. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I had to check the clock so I could be on time.
Right. It's like it's in the middle of the day for you all. The sun's still shining with you all. It's nighttime here where we are. So, it's you guys on the left coast. We're on the right coast. You're on the on the left coast.
Oh, right coast. Oh, okay. I hear you. Hey,
we're on the right
goes
coast.
on in Vegas, goes on everywhere. How about that?
Yeah, man. Everybody always needs an excuse to get to Vegas. So, what's going on in Vegas today?
Well, the thing about Vegas as the actual, let's talk about Las Vegas, the city, but Nevada's become an international hub for everything. I know that I'm in the cannabis space and the CBD space, but one thing about Las Vegas has become such a international port. You'll be able to ship products from Europe to Africa to Asia direct here. It's not what most people think. I mean, sure, we have the casino lifestyle and all that, but Vegas has become an international city. And without taxes, that's the really big thing.
Without taxes, man, that's another show that we're going to do one day about these taxes.
Yeah.
And I want to clap my hands for Kanye. Kanye came out today and he said, he got a $68 million tax refund. So people wonder why he's wearing that MAGA hat. That's precisely why he's wearing that MAGA hat.
A MAGA hat, $68 million tax break. I'm on his team.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so John of Rustin Industries, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and just take a little time and tell them who you are, what your company is, and also talk a little bit about what you were doing before you were doing this right now. Yeah.
Well, my background goes back. I mean, if you look at my family, we have been very active in the civil rights movement. Baird Rustin, my uncle John L., those people, everybody knows them. He was the first black sheriff in the South. And then Baird helped Martin Luther write all the, the speeches and the Selma marches. So my family's always contributed to the United States. Most of the people in my family served in the military. So did the military thing for a couple of years, got out, went back to school, started a career in the software industry, then went to the online world. And just following trends. I think that's one of the things I'm more proud of is being open to new industries. And so we ran the largest software company in the world in our industry at that time. I sold that company to a gentleman named John Irvine in Orange County. But we created another company years later called AdNet International. We're the largest online advertising company out of Chico, California. In 2001, we were doing 62 million unique views a month, back before everybody had broadband. So, cut my teeth in software, cut my teeth on the internet, and start looking for other opportunities. And as I guess, grew up in the corporate world, took two companies public, which was great, and kind of been looking for that next big thing for a long time. And so, and I just by accident, I ran into CBD. A friend of mine's 16-year-old daughter at that time was diagnosed with cancer, and she started importing seeds from Germany, making them in the bathtub, and basically a family business. And we started selling about 6 years ago that CBD. At that time, we called it hemp oil. CBD wasn't really a word we used, and that's how I got in the space. I found something that really worked, and I've in and out over the last few years did it part time. Now, all in. I mean, the industry is exploding. So now, from software to online marketing to now CBD. So that's how I landed here.
Wait a minute, John. You didn't tell me that you was Bayard Rustin's nephew.
Oh, he's like my father's third cousin. So we're all Rustin. There's not many Rustins in the world.
Okay, so yes, you're his cousin.
Yeah, it's like my dad is his third cousin out of Pennsylvania, where all the Rustins come from. Pennsylvania and North Carolina, we're all those same Rustins. Yes, I'm one of those.
Wow, that is good. Did you ever meet him?
I had an opportunity to meet him in '80. I think he passed in '86, but didn't get a chance to. I know that the family got the letter from Barack when they gave the award to his partner, who still exists. And but it's just good to be a part of a family who's done that. And if you look up John L. Rustin, my direct uncle, he was the first black sheriff in 1956 in North Carolina, of all places. An African American sheriff was very rare in the 50s.
And what city was that in?
It's in East Spencer, North Carolina. And okay. So he became the mayor, and she was a sheriff first, and he became the mayor. And then he was the alderman on the mayor for Salisbury for a while, helped with the Salisbury Chamber of Commerce get that established before he passed away a few years ago.
That is absolutely amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Wow, that is some real history you have going on there in your family.
Yeah.
And what would Bayard say if you knew you were in the cannabis and the hemp industry?
Well, he was a pretty controversial character. He'd been locked up several times. The Jim Crow laws, the actual protests against conscience objectors in the '60s for Vietnam. He was a pretty controversial character.
My apologies. Go ahead.
No worries. I don't think he'd have a problem with cannabis. I think where he'd have a challenge is making sure we're not promoting THC, because he has a Quaker background, and I know that his relationship with his partner was controversial for its time. But the benefit is he loved people enough to sacrifice himself. He was the first person you saw give the speech in Washington. He organized everything for Martin Luther. He was someone who changed the world, because a lot of people don't know he also corresponded with Nelson Mandela and Mahatma Gandhi. Most people only know about what he did in the States. So there's a lot more to him than most people know.
No, that is amazing. That is really, really good stuff. Yeah, he's in history. So for those that don't know Bayard Rustin, give a little history about him, just for like 30 seconds to a minute. Who he is. Well, I know a little bit about him. Yeah.
Yeah, he basically was someone who helped organize civil rights. He was really the brainchild behind the Rainbow Coalition. Even before that, he sat in the protests in the '60s for the warfare, anti-war protests for the draft of Vietnam. And even before that, people in World War II, there were issues with soldiers coming back without their benefits. So he always has been an advocate. He organized the March on Selma. He organized the March in Washington. But again, because of his lifestyle, he never took the front place. He always put the other gentleman first, and that's what he did. And as he passed away in New York, everyone's writing and doing movies about him now, because now his lifestyle is not as controversial as it was back in those days.
Okay, I know the story behind his lifestyle, so you want to explain what it is?
Well, he was an open homosexual. I mean, at the end of the day, in the 50s and 40s and 60s, no matter if you're a person of color or majority person, the lifestyle wasn't accepted. So one of the issues he ran into was, even though he's an advocate for everyone to be free in the sense of equal rights, the lifestyle wasn't accepted by either side. But he still stayed focused on what the human need was. It wasn't about him. So when Martin Luther and other gentlemen put together the marches in Selma, the sit-ins at the counters in Winston-Salem, even the boycotts back where they would chain themselves or sit in the middle of the road to protest the conscientious objectors going to jail in America, his lifestyle wasn't what he forced on anybody. It was his actions. But a lot of the political environment used it against him and ostracized him, even though he was the character who changed America for civil rights.
Now, when you say political environment, are you referring to the Black political environment or, other ethnicities? Wow. Wow.
Both. You got to understand, in the South, that lifestyle was a contrary lifestyle, no matter if you're Black or white. Even though people of color wanted the equal freedoms of other persons that, majorities, but at the same time, people kind of look at the message and not the messenger. But back then, they looked at the messenger before the message. So that's why it was a little difficult for him. But he had enough stamina and faith to push through and be himself. He never compromised who he was. And that's what made him great, because he never compromised. He was open about his sexuality all the time. And that was the most respectful thing, staying in the shadows of Dr. King versus trying to be the man in the front. So he saw the controversy of his choices as a means to be the guy in back of Dr. King instead of pushing in front, because the cause was more important than his belief and or his lifestyle choices.
No, listen, this was great, man. It's good to know, man. You are part of Black royalty, basically.
Royalty. Someone else. People say that about me. I'm not royalty. I'm the guy who didn't finish college. In my family, I am the black sheep. Trust me on that one. So.
Listen, well, Zuckerberg didn't finish. Bill Gates didn't finish, so it's okay. That's Join the club.
I'm in that club.
You're a billionaire? I'm just joking. Working on it.
Yeah,
working on
it. Like Russ Brown said, I'm having a character building day.
Absolutely. All right, so everyone, we are here with John Rustin, founder of Rustin Industries, and he's a member of the United States Black Chambers. We are so excited to be working with him. I've connected him to several of our members in the chamber, and now they're working on seeing how they can partner together and work together. This is what we do with the chamber. We do what we can to expose our businesses. We do what we can to highlight our companies, because we have some great companies, and I deal with them on a daily basis. And I love what they're doing. They're really making a difference with their jobs. And so we want to do what we can to expose them to you all here on Facebook and on YouTube and wherever you're watching this, and to make sure that you're aware that the United States Black Chambers is doing some great things with our members. And we have some great companies with great products and services. So, John, tell everyone what Rustin Industries is. What is Rustin Industries?
It's a foundation that basically is set up as an LLC and an LTD. Our focus is to be able to go into different areas of the cannabis industry with subsidiaries. One of the biggest focuses, most people have not, or at this time, have not even entertained reading the Farm Bill of 2018. Now, I know that bill is supposed to create 100,000 plus jobs. No matter if you're a majority and or a minority, you really need to read that bill. So we set up different subsidiaries to go into the farming side of CBD, going into the commodity side of CBD, to be able to support the education of CBD. Whether it's the CBD or THC platform, we have a continuing education program that can help individuals. Before you decided to get into cannabis, you really need to get educated on what you're taking on, because a lot of people are getting in the business for the money, and there is a lot of money. But here's the challenge. There's a lot of money in a lot of industries, but education is more important than the money. So we rather educate you before you get into the business, and then you choose your pathway. But we do have, Rustin Industries has different subsidiaries, whether it's education, if you want to learn how to become a minority CBD or hemp farm, if you want to find out how to start your own product line in the CBD hemp industry. So we try to have an umbrella to where we're a support to the industry, not specific to a certain vertical. Our focus is to cover it on an umbrella. That's why we created the industry the way we did.
No, that is very interesting. So, which is great. And how many products do you have in your company?
Well, we are about a 2,200 SKU vertical because we have about 5 companies under our umbrella that, as a farm and also a processing group, we supply them isolate and distillate and the technologies to create. So the trade-off for us with them is they give us access to their SKUs. So if an individual wanted to start a CBD company or CBD skincare or maybe a bath bomb or tincture, we're able to take the most important thing is seed to sell. One of the things we warn you is when you get into this industry, next year there's challenges coming where if you can't track the chain of custody, I'm going to make sure you understand this. Chain of custody is when a USDA registered seed is planted, harvested, processed, manufactured into a product. So right now, about 90% of products in the United States could not qualify for this new ruling coming out. So chain of custody and seed to sell is what we focus on to give people a long-term opportunity if they want to go into the retail sales of products. And I think that right there, for anybody selling a CBD product, you got to remember the word chain of custody next year will be more important than COA, which is a certificate of analysis of what's in the product.
No, this is good. This is really good. So now I want to talk about this farm bill that just took place. So there are a lot of blacks. So if you're watching the show, share this broadcast. Again, we're here with John Rustin, and he's in the CBD industry. And many individuals that I spoke with, they're really interested about getting into that industry. So tell us again, tell us what CBD stands for. What are the benefits? Is it good for you? Is it not good for you? What's the difference between CBD and hemp, and some of the other products that are out there as well. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, the hemp has basically been used forever for rope and different things like that. But the cannabinoid system in your body was just discovered in the 90s. So cannabidiol, which CBD is, it is something that if you take, let's say, black pepper on your table, it's an actual cannabinoid. Most people don't know that word. So in the 90s, 92, a group of gentlemen in Kentucky discovered the CBD receptors. So the interesting thing about it, we know about vitamins, we know about minerals, but we don't know about CBD and why it's an actual product needed by your body. When you talk to a doctor, no disrespect to doctors, the C1 and C2 receptors, they really have never even had that conversation. So if you think about, here's a natural part of your immune system or your system itself that's never been addressed in a vitamin, a pill, potion, or a lotion. This is where CBD has the ability to go in and supply what's missing in most diets, whether it's supplemental or food. I know that the hemp business is exploding right now, and I'm not going to name the jeans company. There's a certain jeans company that now has been making their jeans with about 40% hemp. And I'll tell you how powerful hemp is. If you go Google the airplane that was just created out of hemp that flies, and if you think about it, the first Model T was made out of hemp. I mean, the Magna
Okay.
Carta written on hemp, the Declaration of Independence written on hemp, the first flag created was written or woven on hemp. So the issue is hemp has always been there, but it demonized because of the 30s and 40s with the marijuana issue. And many of you have heard of the Reefer Madness movie. I don't want to go there. But at the same time, CBD is one of the terpenes or element, I'll use that word, elements in a marijuana plant. Cannabis has different varieties, hemp, CBD, and or marijuana, but the THC itself it's a hallucinogenic. And if you have a product that does not have that, which hemp does, you can extract it. You can grow strands of CBD, which means that you can't guarantee anybody there's no THC in a hemp plant or CBD flower, but because in some cases the strand has such little THC, it's a perfect product to be delivered terpenes market. Let's just call them vitamins for this conversation. The body needs those to help with itself to function at a homeostasis or a balanced level. So the biggest benefit is that you have a brand new discovery in the 90s, which is your C1, C2 receptors in your body. And there's not a lot of history on it. And I know in Israel, there's a large amount of data on the medical benefits of CBD and even hemp. America right now is taking the lead with the Farm Bill to give us the opportunity to bring back a product that's been taken from us for almost 70 years. I mean, if you go back and look at the medical industry about 69 years ago, 71 years ago, hemp and or CBD was almost 28% of prescriptions. So by it being demonized and villainized as the devil's weed, we lost a lot of things that would help us fight the cancers, the obesity, the sickle cell anemias of the world. I'm not diagnosing, treating, or curing, or even insinuating a cure. Know that without the right medical diagnosis from a doctor who does not, in most cases, know what C1 or C2 is, we really need CBD to come back in our lives, just like it was post 1940s.
Yeah, there were how many products were made out of hemp at that time? It was like, was it
It was
hundreds or
about
was it like thousands?
uh, uh, there was about 41% hemp-based products prior to the whole act, and the thing was that certain politicians and certain people who own cotton gins and cotton
Yeah.
farms. I don't want to get into name dropping. And the biggest issue was jazz at that time became so popular that there was a mixing of races, and because Latinos and or minorities used marijuana recreationally at that time, it was a form of ethnic cleansing is the word we use today, but we just call it, they just got rid of weed. So if you think about it, the majority of people using that were jazz musicians, and there was, that whole campaign started by actual politicians and newspaper owners to show the minority man high on weed, intimidating the innocent Caucasian person. And it just was blasted. Even in the movie theaters back in those days, they showed how marijuana was the devil's weed. And the interesting thing about the characters, they were all of color. They were all either curly hair or had the look of a Hispanic. So subconsciously, that was a big push.
I mean, people, but the marijuana is different from the hemp, though. The actual hemp product.
Correct.
So why? And tell the difference between the two.
Well, they're all under the cannabis family.
Okay.
So by putting them under one umbrella and making sure that cotton became the product of use, they use that to say that it's a controlled item. So it was a political move. So again, you're 100% correct. Hemp won't get you high, but it does have traces of THC. Now, marijuana will get you high, which we know, but because of political environment, the racial environment, it was a perfect weapon to use to control those of color. And if you look from 1950 to 1982, and then from 82 to 91, the same usage for all races of marijuana, but you have a disproportionate number of incarcerations for minorities. In fact, in Chicago and or Illinois, it's 78% of minorities who were caught with 2 marijuana joints have either served 21 to 26 years of imprisonment on their third strike. And yet you're only looking at 9% of the Caucasians in that same marketplace with the same type of usage. So that's kind of weird how you would have the same amount of usage of 2 different races or groups, and yet you have a 900% incarceration rate compared to one or the other with the same product. So don't want to get into uproar or cause panic to anyone, but now of all states, Illinois now is releasing people that have been incarcerated with just 3 joints. I'm not, justifying their use, but I'm saying that it's so bad now that it's on the federal level, and the states releasing people who have had those 25 years for the third offense for like a joint possession. It's kind of back to those same old, how do you do ethnic cleansing without poisoning people, or how do you do it without murdering them? You use tools that are invoked on a specific group by a government. So no disrespect.
No, the truth is the truth, and we know how it goes here. where we live. All right,
It's
so
true.
let's get into this farming bill. Tell us about this farming bill. You said you read the entire bill,
I'm a
and
nerd. Yes.
I would say again.
I'm a nerd. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's great. So tell us about the inception of the farming bill, when it started, when it was passed. How is the farming bill affecting African Americans? African Americans.
Well, we tend to be not as active as we should be with the farm bill when it comes to the benefits. If you were a wheat farmer or a soybean farmer for the last 20 and 30 years, and maybe you're dealing with the exports from China, exports from India, and other countries competing with soybean, flour, and also any type of we call it grained vegetable. So the prices of imports are driving your prices down, which means your square footage per acre has gone down by almost 300% in the last 14 years. So farmers needed a bailout. I mean, these are good old school families that supported this country for almost 100 years farming. I mean, sorry, I'd never go to McDonald's if they didn't have those French fries. That's just me. But if you're importing French fries from someone else and you don't know the chain of custody again of that French fry, and a company as big as a McDonald's is buying inferior fries, whereas Idaho has the best, then those Idaho potato prices go down. So the importing of foreign fruits and or vegetables has affected all farmers, especially wheat and soybean. So the farmers now, some of them have really gone into the hemp and the CBD industry, because if you could actually make 5 to 10 times per acre for a legal crop called hemp or CBD, a lot of farmers have bought in. They started growing about 2, 3 years ago. Well, the first one was 2014. That was kind of a test. Colorado was the first state to take the initiative to really push. I met a Korean group 5, 6 years ago, raised money. From what I understand, they raised maybe $10, $20 million. They're at about $300 million return right now. So again, if you're a minority and you're thinking about staying in the farm industry, if your family is a farmer, I'm not suggesting going to CBD or hemp, but I'm saying that the opportunity for a 300% to a 3,000% increase per square foot on your farm is with CBD and hemp. Because think of it this way: the bill passed November last year. Right now, CBD and or hemp has done almost $3 billion as of date, and it's not a year old yet. But as a minority, ask yourself how many minorities are aware of about $3 billion in less than 12 months. And here's the thing: we looked at the numbers the other day. CBD and hemp has become the fourth largest commodity and grow in America in less than 11 months. So if you think about it from that point of view, that's, I mean, in less than a year, it will become the number one crop in America. So in 11 months, to go from zero to the fourth largest commodity grown in America, I mean, and I think we grew maybe, I think it's about 60 million or 70 million pounds of CBD and hemp in the last 17, 18 months. So if it's number four right now and you're a farmer, you might want to consider changing over, because clothing now is converting to hemp. CBD medical research is exploding. Just with Clemson University, they issued 117 licenses to grow hemp in the state of South Carolina. And I believe that 68, I have to go back and check my number, 60 or 70 were African Americans. So I'm saying to you that if you have a market demanding a product, if you have a market that is right at maybe 3% and it still did $3 billion in 11 months, if you're a minority, you really need to read the farm bill. Consider going into, if you're a farmer, going into doing maybe 4 or 5 acres.
Tell
Want to.
everyone. So question: what is the name of the farm bill? Is it just the farm bill? Farm bill?
Oh, farm bill. Well, I don't have the actual number with me. I keep it on my desktop, but I'm gonna tell you right now. The first time I read half of it, my eyes fell out of my head, because it also has a lot of welfare and other programs tied into it. They call it pork belly. Okay, so
Yeah.
the key for me is I started reading the pork belly and the fat, and it wasn't that important. But I'm gonna tell you, the U.S. Farm Bill, 150,000 jobs. It's worth $867 billion. So if you're a African American or a person of color, and you're not trying to, I don't want to use the word cash in on it, but that's the best way to say it. If you're not trying to cash in on $867 billion, that's a substantial amount of money. So the biggest benefit is that we keep hearing these big numbers, but we really don't understand. This farm bill is a touchstone. Okay. There's $2.6 trillion in this industry in the next 6 to 8 years. And somebody's going to participate in the profits. And I think that's where, when people ask me, John, what's the best way to get in the CBD business? I always say, find what you like. If you like products, get into the find a ability to white label or create your own CBD product line and get out there and sell. Secondly, if you are a farmer, I suggest find someone. We can supply seeds to any farms out there, but the biggest benefit is there's so many verticals. There's CBD coffee, CBD foods, CBD or hemp clothing. There's no limit if you have an imagination on what you can do with the actual product. But the biggest thing is all the retail stores in the African American community. If you go to the major malls right now, those stores have CBD sections coming in every day for different stores. So this is incredible because you really are in a position where all the stores in the malls are going to have some type of CBD. The question is, are you going to watch the industry go by, or are you going to participate? That's the question.
Okay. All right. So tell everyone again who you are, give out your contact information, and I want you to start going through some of these products that you have, so that you can kind of tell everybody what's happening. But I want you also to talk about. But first things first. Tell everyone who you are again, and your name and your information, and how they can get in contact with you.
It's easy. It's John Rustin, last name Rustin. Our website is hcn.global. HCN Hotel Charlie November .global. So that's and it's a private network. When you go to the website, you'll find that it's a private network. You can sign up for free. We don't charge you money. Even with our education, we provide free education unless you want to get certified. So hcn.global. Go there, do an application. It's free. And so that right there is where we feel that our people can go and learn about what vertical you want to be in. We just supply free information and solution based on your choices. So that's it.
Okay. So tell everybody about HCN Global, what you're doing again at Rustin Industries. And then I want to get back later on after this. I want to talk about because I just had a conversation last week with a gentleman. His company, they do about $1.5 million in business. And he said they are looking to get into the hemp and cannabis industry. They have about 20 acres that they have, and they want to get into that. But I'm going to hold that question.
Okay.
Unless you want to take it now.
Yeah, no, I'm going to do HCN Global, then I'm going to answer that. So sounds basically, when you go to our website, you'll see that we certify people to become brokers. So if you want to be in the industry working with farms, we have over 400 farms. And these farms are in Kentucky, Colorado, South Carolina. We also have parts of North Carolina coming on. They're still brand new. We have Oregon farms. We have Northern California, but between Oregon and Northern California is our real stronghold. We do have farms in Colorado, but specifically right in the Salem-Memphis area in Oregon, where the best CBD comes from, and Northern California farms. The reason we have a lot of Northern California, they do 3 crops a year. So HCN Global is an informational platform to become certified as a broker, become a retail provider of your own product line, and or if you want to sell commodities to commercial companies like pharmaceutical companies, we certify you and provide product for you to educate you on how to approach a pharma company and or big box retailers. So we're a little different. We want to only, we have to be approved for the network. So it's really no cost at all. We're looking for brokers to really go into the industry and start your own niche. So to answer your next question, if you're looking to get into the CBD farming, say you said the gentleman or the group had 22 acres. We also have USDA seeds. So we educate you and we supply seeds. Right now we have 3 million seeds, USDA registered seeds. We have cherry blossom, and Hawaiian haze. What's interesting about both those strands, they produce a very high quality CBD plant. In fact, if you were to just to want to sell seeds for us as a broker, we train you. Now, I want you to listen to what I'm going to say. CBD seeds sell for 30 cents to $4 a seed. I
One
want to say,
seed.
well, one seed, I'm going to go real slow because I'm from Texas. So we have right now in house 3 million seeds, and our brokers who go through our free training learn how to sell seeds from as little as 30 cents to $4 a seed. So if you can imagine, if you're looking to take the 22 acres and make it into a CBD farm, we'll be able to pass you, the customer, to one of our brokers. That broker in turn will qualify you to make sure, that you understand that our seeds are USDA registered, the germination period, the name of the strand. You pick and choose the strand you want if you have experience, or we'll just suggest an autoflower seed, which is great, one of the strongest seeds out there. But here's a benefit. You don't have to be an expert in the CBD farming business or hemp. We walk you through, we provide quality seeds, and we do have a consulting team that even can assess your dirt, soil, atmosphere, and everything. And sometimes you may have land that won't qualify. That's something that happens to people who get excited about doing it from the business point of view, but their land may not qualify to grow the hemp or the seeds.
So question. So what's the minimum amount of acreage that a someone needs to try to get into this industry? So if I have 1 acre, can I get into this business?
No, unless you're going to feed it to your family. I mean, 1 acre won't get you that many plants. We have a gentleman in Tennessee, 5 acres. He grew somewhere close to, he did really well. Each plant probably needs anywhere from 18 inches to 2 feet to be a good, strong, mature plant. The other thing is the amount of water, the air. Air is so important for these plants because if there's too much air, you can cause stress in the plants. And this is something I'm going to say to you. One of the things is all the seeds are female seeds that create CBD. When you have a seed plant in the ground and you stress the plant out, if it becomes a male plant, it grows THC. So God made this plant where if you mess with it the wrong way, it'll go from female to male. And guess what you just did? You just grew marijuana. So you got to be very careful when you're farming CBD or hemp. Any stress can cause it to produce THC because THC is the masculine side. All CBD plants are female. That keeps the THC low.
Wow, I never knew that. Man, that is so interesting. So if someone has some land, 5 acres, 10 acres, 50, 100, 1,000 acres, whatever the case may be, and they reach out to HCN Global, what would be the first step that you will take them through?
Well, they would go on and do the application. They would get a confirmation back within 24 to 48 hours. Once they're inside of the back office, they can post what their requirements are. We give you the ability to say, look, I have this much land. I want to get into farming. What do you suggest? Or maybe I'm a retail store. I want to private label products for my store. What do you suggest? Or maybe it's someone who is looking to buy isolate or distillate. Could be a pharmaceutical company. So we give you the ability to describe what your needs are, and then we respond to what our inventory or consulting team can help you with.
Okay, great. And so what type of land would not qualify? You said sometimes land is not qualified.
A lot of people who have commercial land have land that may have dioxin in it. The land may have high metals in it, or the land may have some type of fungal that most people don't realize. Some lands that have been used for commercial use may have had pigs or chickens, which those lands used are considered toxic. So there's some type of surface soil that you just don't want to grow CBD. Let me give you an example. The nuclear accident in Japan, I'll tell you how strong the hemp plant is. You can actually plant hemp in a nuclear accident land. Within 5 years, they'll remove all the radiation.
Really?
Yeah, that's how strong hemp roots are. They literally can pull a mineral over a mile away, very similar to coffee. So those roots pull everything out of the soil. So if you have land that's been contaminated, you can put hemp on there. Within 3 to 5 years, that land is pristine. You have to destroy the plants. They're not really of good use. But long story short, that's how strong these plants are. So if you're growing it for personal use or consumer consumption, you have to be very careful the land that you put these seeds in the ground on.
No, that's interesting. All right, so that's the land portion of it, and you have some products in front of us. So walk us through some of the products that you have there,
Well,
and talk. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
the most popular product in the CBD space is usually tinctures right now. This is a typical tincture. So what we do is, let's say it's a 500 milligram tincture. Let's say you want to call it Brian's CBD oil.
Brian CBD oil.
So as long as you have a logo, you would go to HCN Global, send us your logo. We'd lay this out for you and give you a label back. And if you approve the label, then we would send you an order on your wholesale price for your tinctures. We can have you in business with your own private label product within 5 to 6 days. So even though most people in CBD are recognizing the tincture as the number one used product in the drops today in the industry, there's other products that are growing today. But again, if you're going to start a business private label, you may want to start with a product that everybody's using versus something that's a new vertical.
And now, why is that product so popular? Why does everybody use it? What are some of the health benefits? What does it help you to do? And on and on.
Well, all products have health benefits, but you can't claims. So one of the benefits of actually taking this orally is to get into sublingual into your tongue or into your lymphatic system. So the key is that some of ours have, like this one has a lemon flavor, because you can have it natural too. It's not a bad taste, but it's an acquired taste. Okay, so having it flavored, it's another reason that this is good for the whole family. You got to hear how I just said that. Good for the whole family, but specifically inflammation, injuries, and there's all kind of medical benefits for CBD, but specifically until the user has their own testimonial, you really be very careful with medical claims, because again, someone may see this video and say, John said. No, I did not. I said, based on your personal consumption, whatever issue or challenge you're dealing with, CBD has been proven in a lot of cases to help with arthritis, psoriasis, sleep disorder, basically inability to focus. Back in the 80s, a lot of young people were put on Ritalin. I'm not saying this is a substitute for Ritalin, but based on medical research, it has proven to be an alternative. So that's why whenever someone says they want to get in the CBD business, the first thing I suggest is, if you just want to have a product for friends and family, do the tincture. It's an easy product, low barrier of entry, and you can be in business in 7 days with your own product line.
How much would it cost to get into the industry right now with that product? What would be the financial cost to that?
Well, if you use HCN.global, unlike other companies, I have to be very, very respectful when I say this. One of the things is, remember, we have farms that are owned by our network. Well, this right here would probably cost you about maybe $1,600 to $1,800 anywhere else. This is about a $500, $600 investment, because what we would do is we would build a logo for you, build a label for you, and bottle it for you. So we would give you samples before you make an initial real order. So that way, again, we don't want to do like a lot of companies do, require 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 minimums. It makes no sense to me, because when you do a startup company or startup business, you want to go into the lowest level of entry as possible. You want to have your own testing. But the most important thing is, once you get your product with your name on it, you want to think about your marketing. Could you imagine, and I'm not being a basher, but most companies in our industry require 1,500 to 2,000 unit order before they'll even let you in the business. And we just say, look, send us your logo, charge a couple $100 setup fee, send you a couple, 10 to 20 bottles, and you tell us what you want to do from there. So there's really no high barrier of entry for anybody. We want everybody in the CBD business, not just those who can afford 3,000 or 4,000 units up front at a time.
So $500, we can have Brian's CBD oil.
Yes, miracle oil.
Miracle. Right, that's another subject. So how many bottles would that give you? How many bottles would that give you?
Basically, like I said, you need anywhere from 10 to 15 max, no more than 20 bottles, because once you get your product, I know everybody's going to give it to the friends and family first, right?
Right.
So you give it to mama, you give it to your brothers, and if you have a big family, you may want to order more, but really 10 to 15 bottles, because this is a brand new business you're getting into. You, in most cases, don't really have an identification of who your customer is. You just know you want to be in CBD. And again, unlike other companies, you don't have to order 1,000, 2,000 bottles. You basically start out low. The send us the logo. The labels don't change, and ingredients don't change. So if you want a business and it's a simple out of pocket, couple $100 versus some 1,000 bottle requirement, that's why we feel we've got a niche in the industry. So whether it's the tincture, or maybe you're a doctor, because a lot of African American doctors are considering CBD. We've had product lines with the medical symbols already pre-approved on it, like this right here. This is a hemp oil extract. So whether you're a chiropractor or a homeopathic doctor, you could have your name and your logo on this, just like I just showed you for the tincture, in about a 5 to 10 day period. And it already has a medical look. So let's say you're a chiropractor and you want your name on your own product. So again, part of white labeling or private labeling is that, unlike other companies, we're not trying to hit you for 5, 6, 700 or 3,000 bottles on initial order. It's just getting you in the business. The business is so big, you just want to get in. And so a lot of the logos and labels can be custom designed if you choose to. But we tell people, you don't have to have it so customized to yourself. The industry has such a huge demand. If we have thousands of products come to the market, we're still not going to be able to supply the demand. And that's really the secret. And that's why I say to you that, some of our products, like here's a perfect example of what's a distillate. It's a actual product derived from the tar of the CBD plant. So if you wanted to start your own medical line, you could take a product like this and refine it down to isolate, or just leave it the way it is and mix it with any type of skincare. So you can take something like this and make, Brian's skincare, make, turn ugly to pretty, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
But the key is that this is a concentrate. So again, a lot of ladies are into the bath bombs and things like that. So like this is an example.
CBD bath bomb.
Yeah. You
Wow.
can, again, and back to my point. See, you can have a medical professional bath bomb, or one for the teenagers in college or high school. So the biggest benefit is that this is a vertical that even our company, no one has a complete solution, because it's a brand new industry. Everything is you could do. This is a good one. This is a CBD sunblock. I mean, a lot of folks need sunblock.
Yeah. Now, explain this again. Now, your company, you've been responsible for help to the CBD business, correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Do you have a number of how many companies you've been able to help so far?
Our SKUs, I know we have 6,000 websites that are individual white label companies that are our clients. That's the best I can tell you.
Okay.
So our partners have helped 6,000 companies to create it. Their websites and their products are shipped from the facilities here in northern Las Vegas. We have a 68,000 square foot facility that people actually can fly to Vegas. We bring you on a tour. We also have another 37,000 square foot facility that's in East Las Vegas. We take you on a tour. But the most important thing is, unlike other companies, we have an open door policy. Once you're on the hcn.global network for free and you tell us what you need, we work based on your request. We don't try to sell stuff to you like a lot of companies do. And if you say, well, look, I really want to do this, I've got a budget of blank, blank, blank. Well, here's the benefit of that. You literally can take yourself, grab an airline, a ticket, fly out to Vegas. We tour you in the facility. We show you where the product's made, GMP compliant facility, ISO, I think it's ISO 9010 now, whatever they're at. We show you, multi-million dollar units of equipment producing product right then in front of you. So if you're going to make a major investment and you think this is really where you want to go, come to Vegas. We take you on a tour before you spend any of your money. So it's better to give you the confidence that we can support your line than try to sell you something and hope and put you in a position to hope that we're going to supply what you need. So whether you buy a couple $100 with your white label or a private label with us and we ship it to you within a few days, or you want to have a major move. If you want to go to one of our farms here in Vegas, it's a hour and 20 minutes outside the airport. You can go see a controlled environment where the seeds are grown. You can pick seeds up, but you have to wear gloves. And so we believe that ACN.global is unique because from seed to grow to process to manufacturing, we're covering all those areas in different verticals. And I don't know if there's a company out there like ours because, again, we know next year every retail product will have to have a actual watermark or some type of hologram that shows you seed to sell. And without that, the FDA is going to really, all the other companies not doing that right now are going to be behind the bell curve. And African Americans, we know in our community, and I'm not, saying anything we don't know, most money goes out of the community to somewhere else. So
Right.
again, the boys said it better than anybody else. We spend trillions of dollars on other people's children.
How about that? How about that?
That don't make
That
no
is so.
sense.
That makes no sense. But this is the reason why we have this show
Okay.
because I've come to understand that it's not all the time that our community does not want to support Black-owned businesses. They want great Black-owned businesses to support, and sometimes they don't always know those businesses. So we're doing what we can to present our businesses to them so that they can find them. So again, so while we're on that note, give your contact information again so that individuals that want to get some of those products out there that's in front of you, tell us how we can get those products.
It's easy. Just go to the internet, put in hcn.global. Hotel Charlie November dot Golf Lima Oscar Bravo Alpha Lima again. So hcn.global. That way, and go to the application. Just fill it out. It's free. And what happens is once you get an email confirming you're in the system, the email just lets you know you now have access to the back office at no cost. Put in a request of what you're looking for, whether it's white labeling products, or maybe you want to know how to start a farm, or maybe you're a African American skincare company and you want to create a CBD skincare line. We can walk you right through that. Or maybe you're like, well, I want a new career in CBD. I like to become a broker. Well, and I give you an example. Daily, there are millions of dollars being made with people working at home as a CBD commodities broker. We can put you on the phone with other people who've made, and again, I'm not trying to insinuate income. There's no income guarantee, but I mean, a substantial six-figure income at home, you can make a lot of money in this business. And I mean, because you got to understand, I mean, $3 billion since 11 November of last year. And I know brokers that are making six figures quarterly right now from home in their favorite pajamas. They work.
What exactly are they doing? How are they making this money?
An example, there are farming websites. They're called farming billboards that farmers traditionally sell seeds and commodities between each other, right? Perfect example. If you were to register with us, and let's say out of our 3 million seeds, you register with us, we send you a PowerPoint, a video, and everything you need. If you want to build your own website, we can help you do that. So you go to a farming board. Let's say you do Idaho, the potato people, and you put on a farming board that you have hemp USDA registered seeds at 50% off. We just tested this with Oklahoma and Arkansas with one of our partners over in Germany. He's American. He just went back to his home office in Germany, and this is him. So it may vary. So I don't want to give a guarantee. So he sold $60,000 in seeds in 48 hours.
And who's buying
farmers?
Who's buying
the farmers that visit those farmer billboard sites.
Okay.
See, there are farmer billboard sites. They're like Craigslist for farmers. You can go to the co-op sites, and most of them let you join for free if you're a supplier. And you remember back in the day where every community had a feed store? Remember the old feed stores?
Right.
So they've taken those feed stores and put them online now. So could you imagine going to 10, 20 of these websites, and there's maybe 10, 15, 20 farmers who want to get in the hemp business who buy seeds from you? Here's a beautiful thing about it. They can buy the seeds online. We ship the seeds with a CEO, certificate of analysis. Also, you have a chain of custody on where the seeds came from. They're USDA registered seeds. And the beautiful thing about it is, I mean, if you can post online, you can get paid online.
So let's recap on that again. So if we wanted to get inside of the CBD business, because I hear people talking about it over and over and over again and again. So a few weeks ago we had Y Livingston of Y Simp on, and I connected the two of you. I was in
She was
Atlanta.
great.
Absolutely, did a phone call. Say, hey, Y, I got John on the phone. John, I got Y on the phone. Y'all talk, because we really do what we can to make sure that our members are working together and building together. We're not talking about it. We're actually making sure that we're doing business together. And you all should be meeting up here sometime soon, which is great.
Correct.
So
Correct.
So we did that. So if someone is really interested in getting in the business, because last time we had a show, she mentioned how all you need is $5,000 to get into business on a certain particular product. But you're saying
Correct.
with your network, they can get into the business with $500
If they want to have a white label product.
Okay.
If they want to be
And
a
explain
broker, it's
now. Now
different.
white label, broker, and any other entities that we need. To discuss. So just explain the difference between the white label and the broker.
Let's go white label first. All these products can be your products right now. So you would just provide a logo. Basically, let us know, what you want in the bottle. So your description of your product or your company, and we would provide all the ingredients and content. It's called white labeling. You could be in a turnkey dollars. And remember, because we're not like a lot of companies that have a requirement of numbers of bottles, requirement of number of items, we want you in the business making money. And the biggest benefit is that if you make the barrier of entry low enough, everyone can do it. Now that's called white labeling, private labeling, whatever you want to call it here on a product line, 2,100 SKUs. We even have coffee, CBD K-Cup coffee now that you can white label. If you want to go in the coffee business, you can go to hcn.global, put in, I want to white label CBD coffee under my name, and send us your logo, same thing. So if you know anybody drink coffee, you could be a CBD coffee person in less than 10 days. Now, let's go into the broker side of the business. Brokers are the people that we teach how to go out and market commodities like isolate, distillate. We also teach them how to market hemp and CBD seeds. The benefit for that is that you're looking at big ticket items that can range from 1 kilo, which is about $5,000 for the price of
Wait a minute. Did you say kilo?
Yeah, I said kilo.
Oh,
Now,
okay, but not that kind of kilo. It's we talk about
now I'm
CBD
talking
kilo.
about that kind of kilo.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
CBD can be broke down into what's called a crystallized kilo isolate. Now, it's not from Cuba, so don't ask that question. This this is when you when you take CBD from you melt it down in what's called tar. It's when all the terpenes, all the ingredients are there. Then you refine it into what's called distillate. Distillate is a more pure form of the tar. When you take it into a crystallization part, it's called an isolate. Isolate is sold based on the gram and or kilo. So yes, it is a kilo. So a kilo of what we call THC free CBD runs between $5,000 to $7,500 a kilo. So a broker who's trained by us has the opportunity, I'd say it the right way, has the opportunity to make up to $1,000 a kilo in profit.
Okay.
So the average order is about 10 to 12 kilos per customer. If you're dealing with a mid-level company, you could be selling 10 to 20 kilos per order. If you go into the pharmaceutical world, it goes into contracts. So if you do a contract, you may have up to 1,000 kilos a month. Now, those are far and in between, but the industry's so new, that's happening now. A certain retail company in the mall environment that is now going into a new CBD skincare line, one of our brokers sent them a water soluble sample. Their budget is $30 million. They're testing a water soluble CBD right now to create a lipstick, eye, serum, makeup, and hair CBD product line. this is a store that every woman knows about. So again, this was brought to us by one of our brokers. We sent the sample out for their chemist to test the actual water soluble. We're waiting to follow up on an actual meeting in LA right now because we got a confirmation that our water soluble is approved for the broker. So now the broker called me, says, when they make the appointment in LA, on the from the lab and yourself. So because he's been trained by us, I definitely be chemist to chemist, and so we'll help him close the deal. But the biggest benefit is this is a publicly traded skincare company that everybody knows. So those happen. I'm not saying you're going to have that every day as a broker, but if you could, sell isolate, distillate daily, or you can have a really nice six-figure home lifestyle where you basically can advertise what you have on the boards. There's also exchanges that you can go on. So we teach you all of this. But the biggest benefit is if you want to be in the commodity side as a broker, it's very lucrative with the right customers.
This is really, really excellent. So again, we're here with the cousin, Bayard Rustin, the younger cousin, Bayard Rustin, John Rustin, and Rustin Industries. And we're talking about CBD again, and we're talking about hemp. There's so much information. This is our second online show that we've had on this, and there just seems to be so much information that we need to know to be able to get into this industry. So again, give out your contact information for those that want to reach you. They're interested, because one of the things that I say about business is before you jump into any business, you always want to do your research. Research, research, research. I'm a big proponent of doing research to make sure that you know what you're getting into, that you understand the great parts about it, to understand the bad parts about it, the pros and the cons, and everything that you need to know. So, John, give out your contact information for those that want to reach out to you, and would love to see how they can begin to connect with your company.
Website is hcn.global. I'll give the email. It's info at hcn.global. So you can do the website, go to the application to be a member, put your information there around, and a contact email will say within 4 to 40 hours someone will contact you. Once we approve you in the system, the biggest benefit is that you have to, in the back, put who you are, what you're interested in, and let us help you. So that's why I say to you, I like this industry so much, I walked away from my other business. This was one of those points, either you go full-time CBD or you miss the boat. And I don't take this as a career path, will be wrong. Many people will stay in industries that are so, but you're talking just on the Farm Bill alone, 67 needed since November of last year, $3.3 billion has already been sold from CBD and hemp. Those are facts.
No, great. That is great. So if you're out there, if you're watching, I see those that are watching, and you're interested, contact them. Definitely make sure that you contact them. Don't just jump into the industry. Contact someone that can kind of walk you through the process. There's a scripture in the Bible says that there's safety in the multitude of counselors. So you always want to make sure you have a lot of people around you who knows what to do. That way you're not going down a street that you shouldn't be going down. So John, tell us a little bit about how many jobs are being created with this farm bill and with this new industry.
Well, they bragged about 150,000. I don't think that's correct. I'm not expert. Last year and the year before, there were, I believe, 3,700 farm licenses applied for, and I think last year there was only 1,200 farms that actually grew for the first time. There was maybe 800 farms prior to that in 2017 because of the 2014 bill. But the key is that if you think about the average farm has 52 workers, so 52 times 1,100, and that's just in the last 16 months. So 52 times 1,100, and next year there's supposed to be about 3,800 farms in America. 100 times 50, I believe, and I'm not an expert, 500,000 jobs have been created by accident just by passing this bill.
Wow. So if if I contact you, you help me walk me through the process. There's an ability where I can grow my business to where I can start hiring some individuals as well.
Correct. Right. Well, think about it. Our job is to get more people in the industry because we have partners and we own farms. So the more people that sell CBD products, or the commodity is required for the market, it may drive down certain prices from the commodity side, but it's better to have 1 million customers than have 10,000 customers at a higher price. So as CBD is accepted into general public, that means that, like right now, the perfect example, opening CBD stores. That's a very lucrative business. The issue is that most people who don't have retail experience, we already have stores in Vegas. So one of the advantages is, again, HCN Global can teach you how to do it the right way. And it's just the business industry is too big to direct. Even us, with all of our brokers, all of our experienced people, we're we're a small company with big intentions, but education is our first thing. If you're not educated on CBD, don't get in CBD. Don't do it for the money. Now that's crazy to hear somebody say don't do it for the money, but at the end of the day, the money is there, but you have to see sustainability, and that's the key. Is what you're doing, what you're putting your money into, sustainable? Yes, the industry's, but what are the reasons you're doing it? And like we used to say back in the day, if your why doesn't make it cry, don't do it.
So, John, I'm having a little problems with your audio over there.
Okay.
And we may have to disconnect your headset and try it that way. Let's just see if that makes it a little bit better. And so while you're fixing that, so again, we're here with John Rustin, Rustin Industries, and we're talking about CBD. So we really want our community, again, because too many times we are late to the show, and then we blame everything on racism, and then we blame everything on they don't like us, and a lot of that is definitely the issue. But sometimes it's just we don't know, we don't have the information, and we don't have the knowledge. So we do what we can to bring the individuals that have the knowledge, that have the information, that can begin to explain to us how to get through that process and what we need to do. So which I think we got you back there. So
we're good.
Oh, that sounds really, really good. Sounds really good.
Okay.
So what is the best business to invest in right now for CBD?
The best business to invest in if you're in CBD?
Yeah.
My opinion is CBD processing plants.
Okay.
These are locations. You've seen the oil refinery plants around Houston, Louisiana, places like that, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I've been to Louisiana, but I just go down and get the gumbo, and then I get. I don't hang around. Well, Louisiana leads the nation in prisons, so I try to get in there and get out. I don't hang out too much.
That's not the kind of processing we want to do.
No, that ain't the processing that I'm looking for. Correct.
Well, but in the oil business, being from Texas,
okay,
that's like you think everybody's been through oil well. So if you look at, and I hate to bring up a negative, there's been 5 suicides this year from CBD farmers.
Wow. Okay.
These farmers are going all in. Okay. So I say that with respect to their families. We hate that to happen, but CBD processing plants are probably the best investment at this time, because as the farms grow, someone has to process, just like an oil well. When you pull petroleum in from a actual processing plant, converting it into gas for your car, it didn't get there as petroleum, it came there as oil. So if you imagine, a processing plant will not be affected by weather in most cases, whereas look at Montana. They had a surprise snowstorm, lost over $100 million in the last 60 days of CBD plants. So
okay,
farming in places like California is less risky, but at the same time, places like Oregon, which has the best CBD in the world, they're subject to freak snowstorms too. So if you think about, if I had $1 million to invest right now, it would either be retail products as far as opening a chain of CBD stores, or it would be a processing plant, because the boom of CBD retail, you can't stop it. The Pandora's, it's out of the box. the processing plants are looking for all these to bring their product to them. The processing plants have less, and at the same time, making up to $100,000 per farmer bringing products to them to process. Basically the farmer is taking the biggest. Once they grow their plants, they 100% have to process it. So think from a commodities point of view or investment point of view. Can everybody afford to drop 2, 3 million, 4 million processing? No. What's the easiest investment? Starting a home business in the CBD space, or finding someone and going to partner and opening a local CBD store.
Okay. No, that's excellent. So I just got a comment from Sonia Garcia, and she's in one of our Facebook groups watching the show. She says she's interested in investing. She hears that it's going to boom in the market. Any suggestions for her? So I guess that would be one of the suggestions there. Instead of spending the $2 to $3 million investing, start smaller.
Well, it still goes back to that's why we the private network. The private network at hcn.global isn't there to give advice. We're not security people, but we have ourselves in all facets of CBD. I was an investor. I go back, build the employees, start your own CBD store. We can help you get that store off the ground. On a store model that's already successful, there are companies we can. There's one of our partners here in Las Vegas. His store is growing at 43% growth a month in sales. It's only 4 months old. So we send you to someone like that because again, here's a gentleman open a store with 43% growth a month. I'm not guaranteed she'll have the same results, but our job is send her to an expert. I don't feel our company should give advice in areas where we're guessing. We only need people to experts, and that's why our network is private. We have store owners, farm owners, we have brokers, we have agents. We sign up to provide life insurance benefits for people.
Your video is breaking up there a little bit on your side there, John. And I'm going to talk here a little bit on my end, and just kind of see if you could try to fix it there. Try to see if you can work with them there to try to get that fixed. But again, while we're here, while we're working on that, so again, all right, just give it a few seconds. Keep a little bit better. Okay. Just got to make sure that your signal is good there. You might want to take your headset off. I don't know if that's it. Also, let's try it without the headset. Also, let's see if we can disconnect that. So again, we're here with Mr. John Rustin, the cousin of Bayard Rustin, very important civil rights activist of our time, and he's talking about CBD and how he's gotten into the CBD industry. So this is really, really good. So again, share the broadcast. Let everyone know. If you have any questions, place them down in the bottom. And Sonia, hope you got that question there. If you got any more questions, definitely let me know. Anyone have any questions, just let me know, and I'll do what I can to ask them, because I do know that this is a hot topic and many people are really interested about this particular subject. All right, so finish up your answer there and on what you were saying.
So what I was saying is that if someone wanted to get into the CBD business as a retail store owner, we do have a store owner here, African American. He opened 3 different CBD stores, and what's happened is his store he has here that's 3 months old is experienced right now 43% growth a month in sales. And again, we can't guarantee everybody's going to experience the same type of growth, but if she were to be interested in a store or her own CBD product line, where we would send it to, and so that's a deal. So basically, our whole focus right now. Let me go back to my.
Hold on 1 sec. Let's go here.
Yeah, we have a little, just
there you go. You good now?
Right. A little bit
Perfect.
better.
All right,
Yeah.
good. So answering her question, the actual advisory board of CN Global, and I just brag about one of the gentlemen here, African American, has a new store. He just let me know it's 3 months old, not 4 months. And if you had the ability to be trained by him, his store is growing at 43% a month in sales. So that's not so bad for an investor if they choose the store. But again, it really depends on of the person is. So not all investors looking for the same thing.
I got a question. So tell me what, because everybody's excited about this industry. It's like it's really the new gold rush. It really
It
is.
is called the
It's
rush.
yeah, it's definitely the gold rush. So what are some of the mistakes that you are seeing that people are making on a daily basis trying to get into this industry? What are you seeing that they're doing? Some of the mistakes they're making.
Well, I think most of the mistakes I see is people are not writing business plans when they get into business. I think they're seeing the allure of us money. I think that people think just because you open a store, they will come. I see that a lot of people are saying inappropriate things about CBD in the sense of what it can do, which is very. I've bought people in Texas, documented fact. $4 million bought USDA seeds and basically grew a very inferior CBD crop.
Okay. Okay. So a lot of people are making a lot of claims that just aren't true. Okay. No,
Correct.
that
That is the worst thing. And then the other thing a lot of people don't realize that, no disrespect, I don't want to get into politics, but there's a lot of synthetic product being shipped from Mexico from being mixed with CBD products. People go into the hospital. Again, I give you a perfect example, which I don't really promote vape. I don't expect anybody who does. But again, people are inhaling things that are called lung lesions. Some of these products are inferior. Some of them are smuggled in under brands that look like other brands, and it's causing issues. So these vape shops are dying by the vine right now. Influence of imported synthetics, and there's people going to the hospital and dying over it. So before you get in the CBD business, find something that, in my opinion, listen, I've been wrong. I've been in business a long time, and I've not had 100% success. Trust me. But before you get into CBD, make sure you find something you're compassionate about. Find something in CBD you love. Don't make the mistake of, the pie in the sky get rich thing. Sure, there's people making $1 million a month in CBD right now. It's true. But that doesn't mean that you do it either. So you got to be wise, and you have to have it where you got to be passionate about what you're doing, or just don't do it, because the mistakes being made are mostly based on greed, bad information, and overselling what's not true.
mm, very interesting. So tell us about the CBD THC certification online class.
Oh, this is a beautiful thing. This is a beautiful thing. So we have a communication program from New York. A gentleman started the process, but he found he couldn't sell it because doctors and nurses tended to be hard to manage. I'll just say it that way. And what he did is he got with my family. We did a relationship with him. He took the course from a medical level to a common sense level. We're actually certifying people before they invest in business on CBD and THC, so not only what it does to the body, but what the benefits, the features, the benefits, and advantages are. Once you're certified, you get a real certification, and then I suggest you find out what you want to really invest in or start your CBD career in. But without education first, unless you're a personal testimonial, just get certified. It's on our website, acn.global. Click on certification, $149. You get a certificate that is, now if you're a medical professional, do get continuing education credits for it too. So that's what our certification is.
Now that is really great. So I love to hear that, which is good. Okay, good. And so I think you talked a little bit about this again. So just to kind of touch on it, how does someone start a CBD farm, consulting, seed, equipment, etc.? So just kind of reiterate that.
We have about 7 partners who are consultants for the USDA. One of our partners sits on the Jamaican Kingston University CBD board, the Taiwanese board, the Germany University, also the Netherlands board. He is a world-renowned CBD farm expert. Last Sunday, he had the Prime Minister of Agriculture come visit on one of the farms we have in Ventura, California. She is the highest of the high respected individual who, if you want to start a CBD farm, this is who we connect you. So again, the persons that are on our advisory board to help you if you do want to get into the farming, you want to get into commodities and things of that nature.
Okay, that sounds great. Now, did you go through all of the products that you have down there? Did you go through all of those?
No, I didn't go through all of them, but the biggest benefit is that some of these products, again, do have a level of THC, and I want to show you just the tops. So that when you see the marijuana leaf, it's still THC, but this has a little bit higher THC than what would be sold in a CBD shop. So this would be more of a display product. But if you look at the front of the brands, this is important. Each one of them, based on coordination, represents a different type of spectrum and or a different type of plant. Even though both of them are premium concentrates, this is the full spectrum. Actually, this is the full spectrum. This is broad. Full meaning it has THC. Broad at less than 0.3. Meaning less, full meaning everything is in it. Whether you want a dispensary with these 2 products or just one, all these products are available. We have something, Brian. I know you. This CBD honey stick. You know somebody who drinks coffee in the morning. This has 10 milligrams of CBD. You can create Brian's honey business and just sell. You can sell this at a flea market. You can sell this at a Trader's Village type place. But the biggest benefit is we have 2,100 SKUs. So no matter if you want to sell CBD coffee or you want to sell, just the biggest benefit is that it's available within 5 to 7 business days to have you up and running. That's the most important.
That's great. And as we wrap up here, tell everyone why the CBD industry is important for the Black community and how this could really help to change the Black community, how this could help to grow the Black community, how this can help to grow Black businesses. So what is it about the CBD industry that can really help the African American community overall?
Well, I believe CBD is just 20 years ago when I worked with a company out of Amityville, New York, Nubian, and they brought in black soap. Remember back to the day, you get black soap, it was for specific groups. Now everywhere, Whole Foods has black soap now. So think about how many people of color that I want you to think about that. It gives you the same opportunity that was available with black soap and shea butter to the African American community. Now we know that was sold, so if CBD gives you the same opportunity, ask yourself, did you make money with black soap? Did you make money with shea butter? And CBD is shea butter oil from Morocco. How many years ago, before people could spell argan oil? Most of us did not. What I'm saying is that CBD gives you
All right, so we're having a few technical issues there with on your line. It's really choppy on your line there, John. So looks like
to get in front of a 2.6.
Yeah, John, we're having a few issues with your line on your line there. Uh,
Okay.
let me.
How's-
Yeah, I think it's probably with your Wi-Fi signal. I don't know if it's with your signal or with your headset, but it's like really choppy on your side. Let me do this.
That's weird.
Let me do this while you're fixing that. So
Okay.
again, we're here. It's still choppy. It's still choppy, but just give me 1 second while you're doing that. Let me do this on my end. So again, we're here with John Rustin of Rustin International, and glad to have him on here today. And again, their website is hcn.global. H is in Harry, C is in Charlie, N is in Nancy, .global, global, hcn.global. So if you have any questions at all, any questions about the cannabis industry, any questions about CBD products, and you would like to get into it, again, I've talked to a lot of people that actually want to get into this industry, and I've received a lot of great feedback. One of my friends sent me a text, say, "Hey man, send me the video from the last video that we did with Y Livingston." And so there's a lot of interest around this industry, and so John has been explaining to us how you can break into this industry. As I always say, do your research. Do your research, study up on the industry. And one of the things that I always suggest to business owners that we don't see enough business owners doing sometimes is to sometimes you need to do 3 months, 6 months, or even a year worth of research before you actually jump into it. I find that's one of the best ways to do it. That way you protect yourself and you and as I tell everyone, when you are in a business, no matter what that business is, we all should be a subject matter expert in that business. So making sure that we take the time to do our research. So don't just rush into it. Don't just jump into it. Oh my gosh, it's going to boom. Everybody's going to be making money. No, no, no. Slow down, slow down. Because even when you look at the gold rush, there was a lot of people traveling from Georgia, the Midwest, and traveling from New York. And doctors, people who were doctors, they decided I'm going to California to try to dig some gold. And a lot of people died along the way. A lot of people died when they got there. A lot of people got there and they didn't make any money. So just because the industry is booming does not mean that it's going to boom for you. But you always want to do your research to make sure that you understand what the real niches are. On this show, we always talk about niches. And as John Henry say, niches make riches. Niches make riches. So we always want to find out what is the niche and what is that thing that you need that can help you to grow. But doing your research, taking your time, being patient. You don't have to go out tomorrow. The industry is going to be there next year, 5 years. It'll be 10 years down the road. You do want to understand the industry before you get into it, and to make sure that you can set yourself apart, because what's going to make you different from everyone else? What would make your business different from everyone else? All of that is always extremely important. So John, let's do this. Go ahead and give us your final thoughts and your final comments about your business. Then let's wrap it up here, and also your contact.
Brian, again for having me. Our focus is how do we get African Americans ahead of the gold rush? We don't call it a gold rush, we call it a green rush. $2.6 trillion is coming, and you got to figure out where you can find a passionate niche. And that's what HCN Global is: a private broker network, a private agent network, a private supplier network for farms. We keep it internal so that you're trained the right way. You're certified in CBD and THC before you start investing in anything. Education has to be the first thing. So if you go to our website, hcn.global, you can see our certification. If you want to be educated and trained, click on the application, become a member, absolutely free. And we'll even follow up and teach you different things about every vertical. You can ask us a question about anything in CBD. We have experts. Actually, we have over 42 people in different verticals. We have about 400 farms. We have 120 processors. We even have successful CBD store owners who will take the time out and walk you through what you need to be a CBD successful owner. So don't let this don't if you didn't invest in Bitcoin, if you didn't invest in Microsoft, if you didn't invest in Proline, if you didn't invest in Voice, whatever you didn't do, don't and watch another $1 trillion business walk past our community. My mom always said, there's two types of people. There's consumers and suppliers. And I like being on the supply side. So go to hcn.global and let's supply the world this $2.6 trillion industry, but let's find your way right now, but let's not miss it. So thank you so much, Brian, for having me. Look forward to answering all those emails and making sure we do the African-American community right. Get in where you fit in. That's all I can say.
And give your web address and your email address again.
My web address is hcn.global, and the email address is info, I-N-F-O, at hcn.global, info, I-N-F-O, at hcn.global. And that's it, Brian.
No, this is great. So, John, thank you so. And you did not tell me, as many times we talked, you never told me you were the cousin of Bayard Rustin. That's
My
amazing.
dad. Well, hey, small world. We're just Rustins. We do what we have to do.
No, that is amazing. That is amazing. So thank you so much for joining us. Contact John today. Contact this company today and let them know that you have questions. Let them know that you're interested, and they'll walk you through the process. They'll begin to show you exactly what you need to do to get into this industry. And I think that's the smart way. That's the right way to do it. So thank you again, John, for joining us. And I want to give some love to our sponsor. The sponsor of our show today, again, is Sam Bell of Net Market Resources. Sam Bell of Net Market Resources. Sam is an influential speaker, industry thought leader, and a social advertising extraordinaire. Sam started his first agency, PBC Boutique, in 2009, right as social media was starting up to attract mainstream attention. And since then, he's taken the knowledge gleaned from nearly a decade of advertising experience and used it to leverage incredible results for his clients. These results, together with his unparalleled dedication to his client success and his deep industry insights, have led many to call him the social ads engineer. So if you are having trouble with sales and marketing and growing your company and getting more sales and getting more leads and lead generation, I would highly suggest that you reach out to Sam Bell. His web address is www.sam.bell, B-E-L-L, marketing, marketing.com. www.sambellmarketing.com. So this is really, really great. Thank you so much, John Rustin, for this. Support our sponsors, support the show, download the app, USBC Directory. USBC Directory, the holidays are coming up. We got to find a Black-owned business somewhere around the United States. John is in Vegas, so if you're going to be in Vegas anytime soon, everybody goes to Vegas. So if you're going to be in Vegas anytime soon, make sure that you reach out to John. Say, hey, John, I would love to take you to lunch, take you to dinner, something like that. So that way I can understand how to get into this industry, how to break into this industry. Let's support each other, support Black-owned businesses. Thank you for joining the show today. And we will see you next week. We will see you next week. You all